Hello, and welcome back to Mr. Anderson Plays Virtue's Last Reward. Last time we stopped the old lady Akane Kurashiki from being murdered by Dio. She revealed that this was all of a setup to get us to realize our hidden potential of transferring our memory to the past. We're just waking up now in the future. Um, I guess with the old woman not being killed, I think this might be the ending as well. And I do apologize. I've been having a little bit of a hard time uploading videos. I was trying to upload my Monster Hunter World video from me and Xinksly that we did on Thursday. But for some reason, it's just not processing. It gets stuck on zero processing. Maybe because it's like a 2 hour long video, but I've never really had issues with that. And I don't load it at like 1080p. I uploaded it at 720. So I don't get it. But I think this might be the death throes of this game. This should be the last video. But without further ado, let's get on with the show. I feel like one of, oh my god, I'm forgetting his name now, and the joke's no longer good in any way. I was going to make a rapey joke, and I know a lot of people get upset about that. Well, Bill Cosby, there you go. I feel like one of Bill Cosby's victims here. Wake up in a daze. Oh, it looks like you're awake. And for some reason, I have a limp. But he'll pay for my college. Worth it. Is this the infirmary? You know, with the student loan that I have, I don't have much left. But if Bill Cosby did offer, you know, to slip me a Mickey to pay for it, I'd probably take it. I'm proud, but I'm not that proud. Is this the infirmary? Why are we here? Do you know what happened at the AB gate? Kay and I went back to the infirmary, but we waited, and the two of you never returned. So we went to the warehouse to check on you. We found you passed out in front of the AB rooms. Kay and I hurried back here with you. I looked over at Vi and met her eyes. Do you remember what happened just now? You mean what happened a long time ago? Yeah. You got him pretty good, huh? You fucking jump kicked his ass. Yeah, I remember all right. Yeah. Hey, what are you guys talking about? Quark. What am I? Chopped liver? Hey, baby. Alice. Back among the conscious is not psychotic, huh? Ah, yeah, thanks. Grandpa told me what you did. Thanks for finding the medicine for us. No problem. All in a day's work. Although, I wouldn't mind a little swimsuit action. What, from Quark? You want some swimsuit action from Quark? You pedo? Nah, I think he's talking about Alice. Really grabbing at straws here, aren't you? Why don't you guys put on your swimsuits and just, like, you know, get really close and, like, sort of, like, push against each other? That'd be great. Though I think Alice has got you beat on all those fronts. That was an offer for Alice. Not really my point. Dude, you already see half of her. All she has to do is take this off, and she's got a swimsuit on. Not really my point. Whatever, forget about that. Now that you guys are awake, all we gotta do is open the number 9 door. I mean, they're really not wearing any clothes. Huh? What are you talking about? Look at your bracelet. It says 10. I have 10 BP. Is everyone getting out? I've got 15 BP. That means I've got 6 more points while I was out. But how? You've been asleep for more than 2 hours. We played the AB game three times. 3 times? Yes. Of course, the color and group assignments were shuffled around each time. But no matter who voted, everyone chose ally. I think we should just leave fucking Dio there. Now all of us have enough to leave. Yeah, we should just leave Dio's ass in there. But that would probably leave him with Luna, and I can't let that happen to my waifu. I was stunned. How did everyone cooperate long enough to raise all of our BP past 9? Well, because you rooted out all the douchebags. It was because Akane hadn't been killed. Without a death to start things off. Maybe we'd been less suspicious of one another. Or could the bombs have had something to do with it? We all joined forces against Dio, and Fi and I had been able to disarm all of them. All of us has banded together against a common enemy, and overcome a tremendous threat, perhaps that had strengthened our bond. Which, I had to admit, would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted the bombs that forced us all to work together against him. This must have been what Akane was talking about. Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project. Come on, let's go. Let's open the door and get out of here. I wonder if this is going to be a short video. Wait, What about him? I said we just leave his ass. After some decision, we decided to leave Dio behind. Alice was the only holdout. She complained about her wanting him to take her back to her superiors. But after I mentioned they'd come back to investigate after we escaped and deal with Dio then, she reluctantly complied. Alright, let's get going. What do you... Oh, it won't open again, even if he has a 9 BP. And if we just leave him there. I'm sure they can cut through the door to get back in. And, you know, he doesn't even have the internet, so he can't, like, spank bank it. All he has is that, like, that one poster in the other room. But I guess after a while, of just being by yourself and not having anything to look at, even a poster of a bikini woman would be something. Everybody ready? I'm gonna open it. Sort of reminds me of Castaway. I wonder what he did. I mean, come on. You gotta get kind of horny. Just sitting on an island by yourself. I mean, unless him and, you know, his soccer ball, what's the soccer's ball name? You know, got down with it, played a little bit of football. Yes, just get on with it. Everyone else swallowed and nodded. I grabbed the lever and pulled it down. Wilson. That was the soccer ball's name. Let's get out of here. I don't really feel like we're on Earth anymore, to be honest with you. The number 9 door is open. It will remain open for 9 seconds. Alright, everybody, let's move. I guess if this does end early, I can read all the gold files in one video. But I sort of want it to be 36, so it's 3 plus 6 equals 9, and the number 9 door through the Nonary Games. I didn't need to tell them twice. The room was clearly a loading elevator. It looked like some sort of large plate on top of a huge pedestal. We ran to the center plate and turned around. The number 9 door stood wide open. 2, 1, 0. The number 9 door is closing. I mean, I guess if he could figure out how to put the ABT on the skeletons, I mean, he could have a bunch of sex robots. The number 9 door has closed. This ends the Nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. I wonder what Luna's going to do after all this. I mean, she is a robot. She's never going to be able to walk through a metal detector at an airport without it going off. And if they do like a full body scan on her, they're going to tell that she's a robot. I mean, at least she'd never have to go to the doctors, and if she lives in America, that's a boon. How come I'm feeling is this going to lead to the pressure room? I think we should just blow up the facility with Geo in there. OJ. The drink, not the murderer. Looks like we did it. Yes. We should keep moving. Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. To the left we found a very familiar looking door. We pushed it open and went in. Well, you're not going to show us every single second of us walking? The pressure exchange chamber. You know what this place is? Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized, apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside and consecutively the virus from getting inside. That means if we want to go out, we have to decompress so we match the outside air pressure. The room here is where you prepare for going into the actual pressure exchange room. You see all the suits along the wall? I figured we need to put those on and head to the decompression room downstairs. Whoa, hold on a minute. You're saying that the air outside is full of that horrible virus? Yeah, that's what it seems like. Of course, according to the cane, we were already infected with Radical 6. So the whole room seemed a little pointless. Why? How did this happen? Did they? No, that's not possible. We can't turn back now. Sorry, around this time of year I get horrible allergies. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do. All right. Then I also get really dry inside because of the heat, so I have the humidifiers on. No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room. Oh, we don't have to solve a stupid puzzle to get out here? As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Through my helmet, I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes, waiting for the process to finish. This has been a long time. At last it did it, and we heard the door begin to open. Long time coming for this game. I'm a little happy that it's over. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it. The dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline. The others hadn't, however, and although I could see their faces through the visors of the helmets, I heard more than a few gasps of the radio. For a few long moments we stood there, astonished. I wish I had one of these when I went grocery shopping right now. Where the hell are we? The desert, I guess? I figured that out. I mean, which one? I don't know, but I think I know what day it is. It's the day of the full day of the lunar eclipse. Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today is the total lunar eclipse. So, remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was going to be on December 31st, 2028. So, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted? I think so. Wherever we were must have been far away from the city. The air was clearer than I'd ever seen it. And the stars. The sky was full of them. More stars than I'd ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive. Much bigger, in fact, than I remembered it being. Wish I would say that when I looked down in the shower. Then, as I watched, a black spot began to move across its surface. It was hard to see the details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. Wait a minute. What's that? The moon? Well, that's the moon shadow, actually. The moon shadow? I frowned. It didn't make any sense. Zero told me to stay quiet. I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. He said if I didn't toe the line, he would just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed like an idiot, brought Quark with me. Just so I could see her. Such an idiot. So that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there's the moon shadow. What the hell are you saying? Think about it. If that's the moon shadow, then what's it falling on? That's Earth? Yeah, that's Earth! It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. Then again, it's a lunar eclipse. It isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon covering the sun. What? No way. If that's Earth, then where the hell are we? The moon, of course. This isn't the lunar surface. We were just inside a moon base. No way. No, you've got to be lying. How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of Earth's gravity. So what's this? She picked up a rock and dropped it. See? That looked perfectly normal. Yes, it looked that way. Luna? You were right about the gravity in a new way. I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth. Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but... Excuse me, what? Please just listen. Alice, you were infected with Radical 6. Then we gave you Exlavar, which cured you. The Radical 6 isn't completely gone, though. Some of its symptoms stick around for a while. What symptoms? Well, Radical 6 can slow down your brain's processing speed by the root of 1/6. It can take a while for your brain to get up to speed. Every one of us has been infected. In other words, all of our brains have been processing information at a much slower speed. If you evaluate at the root of 1/6, you'll get a number close to 0.408. That means our brains are running something slightly less than half speed. As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. The time it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional to the square root of the gravitational acceleration. Since the gravity is lower on the moon, that means the time increases. Talk science to me, baby. I guess that's a little technical. Let me give you an example. Say you dropped an apple from a height of 4.9 meters. It will take approximately 1 second to hit the ground. On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6, which would be approximately 2.45 seconds. I used 4.9 meters because it matches up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but it could be anything. Gravity constant is, well, a constant. You could drop something from 10 centimeters or 10 meters and it would be the same. Does that make sense? So now we've established that on the moon things fall 6 times slower than they do on Earth. That being the case, what would happen if someone's brain slowed down by a root of 1/6? To them, 4.45 seconds would feel like 1 second. 4.9 seconds would feel like 2. But it's not hypothetical. That's what's been happening to every one of us. Except for you, Luna. Wait, you're saying that's the reason why we didn't notice the weaker gravity? Are you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back. Yeah. You and Sigma and Phi said something about it in the lounge. About how you felt weird. I remember this. It's kind of like my body isn't really mine. I'm sort of floating. Like that. I thought it was because you were looking at me. And all the love in your heart gave you happy thoughts and you were going to fly like in Dragon Ball Z. What Luna said made sense. In fact, it explained Phi's apparently superhuman strength quite well. She was able to jump really high because of the weakened gravity. But we weren't able to see the color of her panties. I have a feeling it's white or gray. Wait, this is crazy. That can't possibly be Earth out there. Look at it. I've seen photos of the Earth and it's blue and green and beautiful. That thing is just red. Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something. This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028. Today's January 27th. And 29? No. Don't tell me. 30? Still no. Then what year is this? 2074. No. Why are they so young then? That's insane. That would mean you were abducted more than 45 years ago. I don't blame you if you don't believe me, but it's the truth. How can you be sure? It's not that hard. Quark and I left Earth on January 23rd, 2074. Solar eclipses are easy to predict. We've known there'd be one on the 27th for a long time. That's just science. Nobody can change that. But why is the Earth red? That's a long story. About 45 years ago, on April 13th, 2029, there were 18 annihilation reactors operating in various parts of the world. On the 13th, all 18 of them went up, all at the same time. The explosion was about 180,000 times as powerful as the atom bomb they dropped on Hiroshima. What? Why? I suppose it started a few months before that. The government had a test site for future Mars mission out in the middle of Nirvana. On December 31st, 2028, there was an accident. Well, accident doesn't quite convey the right sense of thing. The point is, Radical 6 claimed its first victims there, then escaped. Didn't take long for it to spread to the rest of the world. Like Luna explained, the virus slows your brain down, but eventually it also makes you kill yourself. Pretty soon the bodies started to pile up. Some people would take a dive off a building or shoot themselves in the head, you know, the classics. But for some it was poison or fire, asphyxiation, or the noose. Plenty of people jumped in front of trains or cars. One pilot on a passenger airline drove his plane into the ground. Most forms of transportation ground to a halt pretty fast. That meant food couldn't get distributed, and thousands of people who weren't even infected died from starvation. Everywhere you went, there were just piles of corpses covered in flies and rats and crows. I don't know what the hell's like, but I imagine it's a lot like that. After a while, people who managed to avoid getting infected started trying to get in touch with one another. They got a hold of some radios and organized a couple meetings. There was only one thing to discuss, of course. How could they get rid of Radical 6? The answer, they decided, was purification. They figured they could just roast the surface on Earth. That'll kill the virus off for good. On April 13th in 2029, they put their plan into effect. They plan to detonate all 18 annihilation reactors. But that's pretty far, isn't it? Or destroy Earth's surface and the atmosphere completely. The truth is that mostly just rumor. The truth is that's mostly just rumor. Nobody really knows what happened. But I've got my own theories. I think the bombers are already being infected. And when they died, they took billions with them. The ultimate, if I die, you're coming with me gesture, I suppose. I bet your money they'd all lost it long before they got to the reactors. Killing most of the world, no matter how bad things had gotten, was not a sane plan. Even if it was directly responsible. Even if it wasn't directly responsible. Radical 6 killed most of the people on Earth. Anyway, why it has happened isn't the important part. Point is, it happened. Why did we leave? Why did he let us leave if he just knew we were going to be on the surface and not be able to get back in? Is there another shelter up here? You ever heard of a nuclear winter? Well, that's basically what we got. The explosion threw a ton of crap up into the stratosphere, where it joined up with smoke and ash from all the fires, blotted out the sun for 7 years. Plants withered and animals died by the millions. The few humans who were left banded together to survive. Unless they're expecting me to jump back in time to stop this all from happening. They were rough times. Eventually, they were over, though. The sky cleared and the sun came back. Plants started blooming again, and the animals that hadn't died out completely began to reappear. Things weren't quite back to normal, though. It's been 45 years now, but there's still quite a bit of dust and ash in the air. That's what you're seeing. You know why sunset's red? Well, this is the same thing. Blue and green light have short wavelengths, and they scatter when they run into debris in the air. Red light, on the other hand, has no longer wavelength, which means it'll get a lot further than when the air is dirty. So there you are. The Earth looks red because that's the only color of light that can make it through the atmosphere. I was speechless. What could I possibly say? There was no reason for Tenmyuji to lie to us. So we were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth. It was 2074, but why? Why were we there? Why were we then? Yeah, what do we do now? So lost in thought I barely noticed Fi's approach. Hey, Sigma. I think I figured something out. A window popped up on the other side of my helmet with Whisper in the corner. Ah, shit, we're playing StarCraft. She seemed to be using a circuit. Only we could hear. Maybe she's all salty because we did a Zerg rush on her and she didn't expect it. Yeah. What is it? I figured out why there's an extra E. An extra E. Oh, you mean the graffiti? Yeah, the one on the floor B. I think it's an anagram. Just like on floor A. What's Anna say this time? God damn it, Sigma. Knock it off. Memento mori, if the 9th line ate the sun. If you rearrange letters, you get the man on the moon rolls the infinite time. See? How do you do it? I mean, I'd never get that. You need 6 E's to get that. So they stuck an extra one in the 9th. The man on the moon rolls the infinite time. Yeah, we do roll the infinite time, so we can go back and forth. I think it's a message for us from Zero Senior and Kane. Remember what she was telling us? We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the consciousness of 2 people into the past. Those 2 people are you, Sigma, and you, Phi. We gotta get back to the past. So, what are you getting at? My God, you're slow. You don't get it? They're saying we ruled the infinite time. Infinite time? They weren't just talking about having us jump a couple hours. I think they're planning on to send us back. Way back. Wait a minute. Are you saying you think they're going to send us back 45 years? Yeah, I bet on it. So the ultimate purpose of the AB project is to send us back in time to that catastrophe Tamiyuji was talking about. Is that where No Escape takes place? Zero Time Dilemma, No Escape, which is the third. I guess it's actually the second game. I think I said something like that at the beginning of the Let's Play. I think so. That doesn't make sense, though. I mean, we came from that same time period before it actually happened. So why bring us here and then send us back? The train our brains. Well, Kane should be able to tell us the rest. Let's go pay her a visit. Do you know where she is? I've got an idea. Come on, think. Remember what she said when she gave you the key. Tu foi ego iris. I can't pronounce that. Oh, the grave. The one in the garden. Yeah, we never got the key for that. But now we did. Well, come on. What are you waiting for? Let's go. But how are we going to get back in? Can we get back in? We turned and ran back into the pressure exchange chamber. The others following close behind. What are you doing? Did you figure something? We're going to have a talk with somebody. Who? You really need me to spell it out? The person behind all this. How is he fitting inside that suit? You mean a Kane? What? I'll take that as a yes. Let me accompany you then. Wait. Why do you know about a Kane? I'll tell you when we get there. Now, if you please. I'm coming with you. You folks just said the magic word. I'm going to then. So am I. Hey, is this Kane you're talking? Is this Kane you're talking about? Yeah. You know her real well. Wait, you're not. You're serious. What the hell is going on? Shut up. Just shut up. Come on if you want to. We don't need to do a roll call. Once we get there, Kane can explain everything. With that, we headed back to the airlock. Can we even get back in? Let me check something. Okay, we're good. Oh. It will let us back in. Let's say it'd be kind of silly for an ape to get back in. Ah, clever. The number 9 door on the floor A is shut forever once the game ends. Assuming Zero Jr. was telling the truth, of course. But the door on floor B, yeah, I thought we might be able to take the lift to it, and it looks like I was right. Any idea where our Kane might be? Yeah, the grave. You mean the grave in the garden? Yeah, don't worry. I don't think she's buried in there or anything. Chances are she's alive. Just in the grave. Anyway, let's move. To the garden. She's probably in some kind of cryo sleep or something. Well, looks like Tamiyuji might get a shot at it. If he's still alive. Alright, let's open that bad boy up. Is a Kane really under here? I think so. What should we do? Are we going to dig her out? No, I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keyhole in the grave? Oh my god, my nose. If I just insert this here, I pulled the key off my ankle and fit it into the hole. I twisted it to the right until I heard something click, unlock. With a quiet grinding, the grave began to shift. Oh snap. Yeah, it's one of the cryostasis. What is this? Doesn't look like a coffin. Yeah, it's a treatment pod. Oh my god. It is, isn't it? The glass cover had frosted over, making it opaque. We couldn't see who or what was in it. Let's see what's inside. I don't see anybody inside. She grabbed the hold of the lever on the side of the pod. No good. I don't think it's locked. I think it's locked. Treatment pod, stage 1 defrosted complete. Stage 2 will complete in 10 minutes. Once stage 2 is complete, the lock will automatically disengage. Right, cold sleep. What? Those pods can put people into cold sleep. It uses something called CAS to freeze human bodies without destroying their cells. So Miss Kane's like an ice cube? I think so. Then we've got to wait until she melts. Yeah, so how about you tell us your story while we wait, Kay? Specifically, why do you know a Kane? I remembered. What do you remember? Everything. I was born and raised in this facility. It's called Rhizome 9. A rhizome is an underground plant stem that spreads by sending out roots. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? The facility is a little like a rhizome. Supposedly that's what they call these installations like that. The number comes from the facility's number. There are 54 rhizomes on the moon, and this is the 9th one. Oh, so there's a bunch of other facilities. I suppose the other ones don't really matter to you, do they? In any event, I grew up here with the Kane and Zero Senior. I watched them create the AB project. The AB project? Yes, its purpose is to confine Sigma or their consciousness, at least to the past. Back 45 years, right? Yes. So you want us to change history, huh? Go back and keep Radical 6 from getting out, and stop the reactors from exploding. That's our mission? Well, not exactly. What do you mean? It's true that the ultimate goal of the project is to keep Radical 6 from spreading to the general population. But if you do make it back, you won't be able to do much. By now, it's already too late. Too late? What do you mean? Let me begin at the beginning. You might be thinking that Zero Senior and Kane were the ones who created all this. But that's not entirely correct. They only followed the histories they'd already seen. It was the only choice they had. Nothing less than the future of mankind is at stake. We need two of you to jump through timelines while maintaining your memories. That is why you had to play the AB game, and why the chromatic doors were necessary. By forcing multiple options, you can make numerous jumps. We speculated that jumping more would strengthen your memories. The puzzles were also there for a purpose. Some theories hold that the moment of insight when you solve a puzzle strengthens your connection to the fourth dimension. That was the reason for the puzzles. Your infection with Radical 6 was also a vital part of the plan. By slowing down your brain's processing speed, we can store your potential. With that energy stored up, we just had to provide a life or death situation to launch your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Like a bullet from a slingshot. Wait, hold on just a minute here. You keep talking about Sigma and Phi, but what about the rest of us? Why did you bring us here? That's simple. In earlier histories, you were all here in Rhizome 9. We needed you here to accurately replicate those histories. Although I suppose that's not a good enough explanation for you. In a sense, though, it's the truth. Our primary goal was to replicate history. The rest is... Yes, I suppose I should explain. Very well. I will try to do so in a way you can understand. First, Alice and Clover. They were abducted 45 years, 1 month ago, on December 22nd, 2028. The location is Earth, of course. More specifically, Los Angeles, California. Correct? Yes. Yeah. After being kidnapped, your bodies were sent to a facility under Kane's direction. You were placed in the treatment pods and immediately put into cold sleep. 4 months later, you arrived at this facility. The date you finally arrived was April 14th, 2029. Your trip from Earth to this facility was aboard a spaceship, powered by an annihilation engine. Following your arrival, your pods were placed in a long-term storage. Does that make sense? Are you telling me we were sleeping in those pods for 45 years? Yes, in preparation for this day. But why? Her breasts look great for her age. Why do you need what do you need from us for? You're an Esper, aren't you, Clover? I mean that you're able to access the fourth dimension. Am I wrong? Did a Kane tell you? In a matter of speaking. As I've already explained, the purpose of this project is to send Sigma and Phi's consciousness to the past. Espers are able to sort of resonate with one another, which can amplify their power. You understand? This is why we brought you here, Clover. What about me? We need your help, Alice, to deactivate Dio's bombs. But I didn't do anything. But you did. In another history, you were able to form a prime decomposition of the 25-digit integer that Dio left behind. Only you could do that sort of thing. Because of your feat of mathematics, we were able to determine that Dio had planted the bombs. Then we were able to question him and get the password for the number 3 door. Finally, we used that information to stop the detonation in this timeline. Without your help, Alice, we would have been reduced to nothing more than so much space dust. This history exists because of your presence. Now let me explain why we need Temiuji and Quark. Temiuji is simple. We need you for the same reason we needed Clover. We're able to access the 4th dimension. Almost half a century ago, you used that ability to save a young girl, didn't you? Yeah, I did. We needed you to resonate with Sigma and Phi, so we brought you here. All it took was a messenger. Do you want to see a cane? If you do, come with me. I was a fool and fell for it. And you brought Quark with you. In fact, you insisted that he come. Yeah, I know. I guess you were worried about leaving me alone, huh? You kept saying you couldn't run off to the moon and leave me behind. It really puts a new spin on Alice. One of these days, straight to the moon. Sorry, Quark. If I hadn't been so stupid and selfish, none of this would have happened to you. I never thought this would happen. Can you ever forgive me? Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I agreed to come with you. I thought the moon would be way more interesting than being boring old Earth. What kid would turn that down? I wouldn't. We didn't see the messenger after we got on the ship. It was on autopilot. As soon as we got in, it headed straight for the moon. During the trip, Zero told me to keep quiet once we got there. I don't remember anything after we landed. Then there was a bunch of white smoke and we passed out. And when I woke up, I was in the AV room. Now Dio, his real name is Left, and he's the leader of a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons. He was ordered to come here. The Myrmidons are under the control of an organization called Free the Soul, which is in turn controlled by a man known as Brother. It was Brother who orchestrated the release of Radical 6 into the general population 45 years ago. Do you remember what Phi mentioned earlier? The ultimate purpose of the AB project is to change history and keep Radical 6 from being released. If we succeed, that would be hard for Brother and his organization. Our success would prevent them from creating the ideal world they were looking for. That is why Brother sent Left. He trusted Lieutenant to this facility. They needed to stop the AB project. So Dio was given the task. The first was to eliminate Kane, the architect of the AB project. The second was to join the AB game and win it. If Dio won the game, the AB project would not be completed. At least not in that timeline. In other words, in that world, the project would have been stopped. If things didn't go as planned, Dio was given a contingency plan. If you cannot murder a Kane and win the game, destroy Rhizome 9, hence the bombs. Can I ask you something? Perhaps. How did Brother know about the AB project? He was also an Esper. We could set Brother aside for now, though. May I proceed? Who is Brother? No one objected. We were all curious. Excellent. That explains everyone, save two, Luna and myself. Sigma and Phi already know the truth about Luna. I don't believe I should reveal any more, however. I think it would be more appropriate if you could ask Luna yourselves at a later time. Would that be alright with you, Luna? Yes, that's okay. As for me, as I said before, I was born and raised here. The rest of you brought to this facility, but I've never left. That makes me someone close to Zero Senior and a Kane. Hey, I've been wondering, who is Zero Senior? You've already met him, Sigma. In another timeline. Yeah, well, I saw a hologram. Is that me? Is that Sigma? I still don't know who he is. I think that's Sigma. Probably Sigma. Stag 2. Stage 2 is complete. TP00 unlocking. Toilet paper 00 unlocking. It looks like it's finished. Shall we open the pod? Yes, let's do this. All of us gathered around the pod. The glass was still covered with frost, hiding the contents. Okay, let's get started then. Ready? Phi laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us. I swallowed. Yeah, anytime. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. More countdowns. I wonder why they didn't do that, like, where they have, like, the hand-drawn images of them. What? I thought it was B. Kane. Suddenly my head was full of memories from the other timelines. I'd seen something like this before. The warehouse on floor B, in front of the white door. Kay was lying in front of me. I grabbed his mask and saw myself, my own face. I never figured out who he really was. Why was there a man with my face under Kay's armor? Didn't make sense. After I'd seen him, I was injected with tuberculin, and that was the end of that. But wait, if the person in Pa was the same person I'd seen on the floor of the warehouse, then who was in Kay? Who was wearing Kay's armor? You finally noticed, didn't I tell you? You won't be alone. I will be at your side watching over you. No. Oh my god, you're... Yes, I am a Kane. Wear a fucking suit of power armor. It's awesome. A Kane Kurashiki. She got that all fast. It's you. June, I mean a Kane from... But you're old. Yes, that's correct. You're old too, dude. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover. Or you, Junpei. Junpei. A Kane. Long time no see. I could barely hear what they were saying. My mind was still reeling. I felt like all the air had been knocked out of me, and it was all I could do to not collapse right there and then and there. When? How long? Do you remember when the two of you saved me in the warehouse? Once you saved me, you went back to the future. Well, your minds did at least. I carried your bodies to the third AB room and then took Dio's to the fifth. After that, I went to the first room and borrowed Kay's armor. So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already... Yes. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Dio kills you, and then Luna took your body to the sixth room. You couldn't have been in Kay's armor. No, it was me. And this time I landed at least. In this one, I wasn't murdered by Dio. You two saved me. It was like Schrodinger's cat. Your actions in the future decided who would be inside the armor in the past. What? No, that's nuts. Alright, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved? What happened then? Who's wearing the armor? That's quite simple. The man in front of you. Him? That's correct. Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is. What about the memory loss? For my part, I confess that I lied. He, on the other hand, was telling the truth. Large doses of Soprol can cause memory loss. I gave him a rather large dose. So who is he? You've never seen him before? No. What about the rest of you? I have no idea who he is. I've never seen him before. They've never seen him before. Me either. Total stranger. Hey, come on, what are you guys saying? Right here. Same face. Are you alright, Mr. Sigma? Did you hit your head or something? Huh? What? It didn't make any sense. Why didn't they recognize me? Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time. You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future. What does that mean? Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future. From 45 years ago. I looked around frantically. A pond, I ran to it and threw myself onto my knees. Crawling on all fours, I approached the edge. My heart was hammering inside my chest. A cold sweat trickled down my spine. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, damn it. I struggled to take deep breaths. And slowly, I peered in the pond, looking for my reflection. In whose eye chose Simba. What? Oh, he's got like a fucking cool-ass eye thing, you know? Like a cyborg eye. I would have done both eyes. He would have looked even more badass. So I was the hologram. I am Zero. What? No, this can't be real. This face. It's your face, Dr. Sigma Klim. Although to you, that's behind it now. To the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now. Zero, the mastermind of the AB project, is you. Oh, damn. What? No, that's not possible. How did you not notice that he had a cyborg eye? That's bullshit. Did he not touch his face at any point? No. It's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor. I'm not a doctor. You will be. You will be. A pioneer in the field of genetic engineering. So you're lying. No, I'm not. You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you're going to create him. Create? His name is Kyle Klim. Your clone. That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself. 23 years ago in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle. Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future. When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him. The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's. If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that. You gave him that armor. Ever since he was born, he lived inside of it. That's sad. It kept his muscles and bones strong. He wasn't forced into it for the Nonary game. He's been wearing it every day all of his life. But why would future me create a clone? He was to be your spare. Oh, spare me of this! If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place. Damn. I mentioned before the AB projects, A and B stood for after and before. That isn't all they mean though. The A also means anima and B means body. Anima is another word for the soul or the consciousness. Body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin. The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch. That was the chief goal of the project. Wait, so the future person goes into the past person. Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden? You mean this, right? Yes. Oh, Nevada test site. Of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this timeline. Yeah. Sigma, take a good look at this. It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making. A is where everything began. So that is where, I'm guessing, Zero Escape is. December 25th, 2028. You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness. From there you jumped to B. Damn, that's a quick jump. January 25th, 2074. You woke up in the AB room in Rhizome 9. You are in your own body, but it's 67 years old. Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future. I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity. Your body woke up and was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. Dude, all you have to do is cut your hair a little bit. You look a little bit better. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out. Moving on, if you continue along this line, what happens next? You reach C, which is January 27th, 2074. That is today. Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up? 36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten? You were all infected with Radical 6. The virus slowed your brain down. So yes, 36 hours of real time has passed. But to you, it seems only like 14 hours and 40 minutes. Now comes the important part. After this, your consciousness will return to the past. It will reemerge at point D. April 13th, 2029. You'll return to your younger body. But that's the same day as the reactor explosions. Yes. That is why I said it will be too late. You'll return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will already have happened. The story does not end there, however. The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to point B. But this time you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal. Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body, until you reach point B. Do you remember when B is Sigma? January 25th, 2074. According to you, you told us it's 36 hours ago. Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of a 67-year-old Sigma. So where did the older version of you go when you took his body? Point A. The day all this started. Yes. His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be in the past. But once that body reaches point D, my 22-year-old consciousness will come back from point C. This is confusing. That's correct. What happens? When that happens, the older version will be ejected from your younger body and return you to point C. So it's rotating? Rotating. I suppose you could put it that way. But look at the illustration closely. So it goes B, C, D. Wow. What if you take all these lines and untangle them? You get one single line. It may look complicated, but it's the truth. But in truth, it's a single straight path, with one exception. This line here, E, right? Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse. The day Radical 6 got out of the test facility. Yes, but by now you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A. If we can do that, we could change what happened 45 years ago. So the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out by jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve 2028. Yes, that is why the line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D. In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C. Oh my god, this is confusing. And for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility. That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point, so that we might save humankind from destruction, and undo the horrors of the last 45 years. Well, that sounds complicated. Tell me one thing. What is that? You said that point C is January 27, 2074, which is today. There's going to be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th, 2029. Yes, that's right. But look, I'm still old. When is the jump supposed to happen? Very soon. Soon? Yes. And what's going to trigger it? We need the potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Fortunately, we now have plenty of that. Thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that means is to launch your consciousness, like a bullet from a slingshot. And how do you propose to do that? Didn't I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death. That can jumpstart your brain. Oh, what do you mean? You haven't figured it out? I mean this. Oh, shit. Dio's knife. No sooner were the words out of my mouth. She stabbed the fuck out of me. Fie! I screamed and leapt toward them. A cane was already in motion, the knife driving toward Fi's chest. I was almost there. Did this send me to the past? When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. There was a dull pain in my chest. I felt for a cut, but something was in the way. It took me a moment to realize that it was a Kane's body lying on top of me. Oh, baby. I twisted my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. On it was written a few words in Latin. What you are, I was. Oh, okay. What I am, you will be. Okay, so it's like a constant recycling of bodies. I get it now. So we switched consciousness right at that time to go back to the past. And I guess, to be honest, I know that Sigma is in No Escape, Zero Time Dilemma. So I guess that's where we get brought back, I believe. Unless I'm wrong, because the Nevada test site facility, I believe that's where we are in Zero Time Dilemma. I mean, not to ruin everything. What did I think about the game as the credits rolling? It's a good game. I tend to have a lot of patience. I am a patient person. Frank Beau DeWint II. Where do I notice that name? But the game does test my patience a little bit because it sort of, like 999, it sort of treats you like you're an idiot, and it feels like it has to spell everything out. And while I do admit that most of the general population are idiots, you know, I don't think they should just treat everyone like that. Though, for the sake of it being a visual novel, I guess, I mean, it is good to have as much information as possible. But I think the weakness of this series of games is the fact that you have to keep replaying it to get multiple outcomes, which I'm not a fan of. The game is very linear, though they try to make it feel like like it has many options when really it's linear as hell. So what they should have done is just did this all one straight timeline, and just instead of having you revisit the same things you've revisited time and time again, which really made the game feel like a drag, they should have found a way to cut all that out. I know that's kind of easier said than done, but I think the game would have got a lot higher like marks, even though it was pretty popular in America. It wasn't very popular in Japan, and maybe they figured that out too. The puzzles wise, it's pretty good. It feels like an escape room. In fact, if they had an escape room that was sort of like this, or it was like a series of rooms, that'd be pretty cool. I'd do like a week-long one. That would be really cool. I really like the fact that they had Junpei and Akane Kurashiki in it. It sort of gave you closure on what happened to them. But how they got to the point that they did, who knows? A new destination has been added to the flowchart. Let's see. But I mean, I'd give the game like maybe a 6. The production quality, the sound was pretty decent. I don't know about the voice acting since I didn't listen to the voice acting. But what's this? Headquarters, April 13th, 2029. Yeah, let's just finish this off. Is he watching some kind of weird porn? Hello, baby. Today is April 13th, 2029, and this is the evening news. It's not good when your newscaster looks like this. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read. All of our station reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6. So have my... Excuse me. I gotta kill myself now. I managed to keep us on air until now, but I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. Forever. I pray that some days our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye. Damn. She shot herself pretty hard. For a moment I just stared at the TV. The roar of the static seemed to fill the entire room until with a click it disappeared too. Power's out. Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me and turned around. You. Yep, this is where our old consciousness had gone. Man, Akane got hot. Even hotter. Akane. Or the art's better, at least. It looks like the first step was successful. What the fuck? You killed me. Killed? I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still. Hey, no need to be rude about it. I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine. I'm okay? Yes. You and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way. You mean me and Phi? Yes. I only told you about you, but we also need Phi to jump. Now, you know what happens next, right? We go to the moon? Correct. We'll be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029. We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions. You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9 along with 3 treatment pods. Alice and Clover, right? Yes. What about the third one? Who's in there? Phi. We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared to be at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen. That wasn't what the Phi who jumped from point C, though. It was Phi before she jumped from point A to D. Oh, fuck, this is too confusing. In other words, she was following the same path you are. She still is. Then that means that after you froze her, the point C version of her jumped back into her body? Yes. The point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay in there for the next 45 years, sleeping on in ice. Then when she gets to point B, her consciousness will jump to point A, right? Correct. Huh? So that's why she didn't look old. So why don't you just stick me in one of those pods? We can't do that. Why not? You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project. After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines. In other words, you'll be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph. Why don't we just come up with an automated system to do that for us, though? And of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and bracelets. You'll also be the person who summons Temuji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the 3rd AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out, and you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028. And then I change history? Do you really think I can keep this virus from getting out? You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die. Only you and Phi can save them. What about you? Aren't you an Esper too? I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I'll need your help. How far in the future is this from 999? What do I need to do? What do you mean? Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to point A, what are we going to do then? You both enter the Mars mission test site. After that? I don't know. What? I mean, I'm sorry, I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how Radical 6 escaped. We don't even know it was there in the first place. Oh crap. Then we're screwed. That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility. Things will be difficult, and I'm sure you'll find yourself in a great deal of danger. But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle. Does that mean Phi and Sigma will be in Zero Time Dilemma? Wait, how do you know it's so dangerous? The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus, so suppose you could say you told me after you failed. What did I say? That the test facility is full of traps. There was one point. A woman's life was in danger. You risked your life for her sake and lost your arms and your right eye. So that's why I have like a cybernetic fucking body. My arms and right eye. What the hell? Dude, I don't know how you're jerking off with those hands. Suddenly a low rumble shook the building. And that was when the bomb went off. What was that? Go have a look. I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. A thunderball. I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly towards the sky. It's called a thunderball, dude. Like the James Bond movie. Would we really be able to change the course of history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening skies above us and steeled myself. I would succeed. So yeah, I do believe that's where Zero Time Dilemma does pick up, which we will be playing that. But after a brief end or beginning and achievement, Fire and Ice. I believe that's where we're going to be playing another game. I believe we're going to be playing some Jake Hunter on the DS. Which they're shorter games. They're really linear. They're just really solid visual novels. They're mysteries. I like me my mysteries. Like detective mysteries. And Jake Hunter is a perfect title for that. Just to relax and just watch, you know. We pretty much filled out all this. All the other things that we sort of missed, they're just dead end, like game overs. So we die essentially. If you guys do want to see that, let me know in the videos before. Well, actually, I'm probably going to uninstall this game beforehand. And I mean, do you really need to see me die a bunch of times? No. We've already rooted out all the mysteries that are going to be presented in those timelines. So I really don't think we need to do that. If you guys really want me to, well, you know, you have to do it in the next like a week and tell me. If you don't tell me, I'm just going to uninstall the game because I'm not going to have it on here forever on my computer. I mean, I do have a nice computer, but I don't have all the space in the world for all these videos and games. But I hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, I'd give this a 7, this game series. A little long-winded. I really like how they linked 999 to this, and the fact that how they linked Zero Time Dilemma. I do like seeing familiar faces in games, so it's nice to see that Sigma will be in it and Phi will probably be in it as well, it seems. I like stories that follow a a group of people instead of just like, a series of events instead of just, one standalone episodes. So I'm happy to see that, though I do know that Zero Time Dilemma has a bit more endings to it, which I'm frightened about. I'm hoping there's a little bit more of a straighter path that I can take, and I think that's why I am going to take a break for a little bit, just to get my head out and explore with other kind of games. So it'll probably be Jake Hunter, and then um, the Zero Time Dilemma, and then after that, I do want to play another game, which I've played like 3 or 4 times before. 2 times by myself when the sequel came out, and then once with my wife. So I think it was like 3 times. So yeah, once with my wife, and then there's another part of that game as well that was only released in Europe. However, I ordered the DS game from Europe to be able to play it because the DS is not region locked. But that is basically my flowchart from now. I'm going to do some Jake Hunter, then I'll probably do Zero Time Dilemma, and then I'm probably going to do Hotel Dusk, and then Last Window, which are really great games. They're the games that really got me into visual novels, to be honest with you. And they led me to my love of my life, waffles. I love waffles. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought about the game. I don't really get a lot of comments besides, a few people, which does make me feel really good. It keeps me going. But I get a lot of like spam ones, people trying to like put viruses on people's computers by clicking on addresses. So I would say do not touch any comments with a link in it, because I look at my comments and I tried it, and luckily I have a really good antivirus, and someone did try to break into my computer that way. So don't press any links on any videos unless I put them there. But once again, though, I hope you guys liked. Comment, tell me what you felt about it, and subscribe, because it makes me feel good. And make sure you have a good night. Good night.